And welcome to this new tutorial. Today I want to apologize about 3 mistakes I've made in my last video. I claimed basically 2 false sentences, one about the MIDI sync issue and the other one about the impossibility to route the external sources into the sidechain compressor. The third one is not properly a mistake, but it's another way to do the same thing. But let's go by order. I claimed in my previous video that with the new firmware, the sync out problem with the baseline was solved. And it happens kind of a weird thing, because I claim this sentence because I've made on the previous day of the video a test, more or less half of an hour of test, and I run different patterns, different projects, different stuff. Everything seems pretty fine at the point. The day after I recorded the video, I was simply playing something around and the problem shows up. It's weird. I was thinking it was solved with the new firmware, but it's not. Now, the second thing was the impossibility to route the external sources into the sidechain compressor. But this is not true. I totally forgot that we have into the effect settings on the last tab the ability to route the input bus on dry, bus 1 or bus 2. We can also route the dry on dry, so basically it goes straight to the output, or into the bus 3 and then the bus 4. Let's stick with the bus 2 activated right now. And in the sidechain settings, we have selected the bus 1 as the source and the bus 2 as the target. This is something I use when I'm performing. When I'm writing tracks, I'm switching to the dry settings in order to use the bus 2 as a mute bus. Now, the baseline is routed into the sidechain. So let's start, and I have to manually sync the baseline. Now it's sidechained, and if we go into the effect settings and we change the bus, now it's in sidechain anymore. Let me augment a little bit the volume. Now let's switch again. You can clearly hear, but to have the proof, we can, and yeah, this is perfectly sidechained. So you can route the external sources into the ESP compressor by using the bus 2. It's not totally clear to me why it doesn't work with the input bus set to dry and also set to dry into the target. Now it's working on bus 1 and 2. Of course, now we are using bus 2 because the bus 1 is the source. This is a thing that I totally forgot, and thanks to SignVallen123 to point this out into the comment section of my previous video. And thanks also to Swampy666, which pointed out another technique to resample the sidechained signal only. Just to recap a little bit, the technique I showed in my last video. Now let's switch this to dry and let's switch also this to dry, because we are using the bus 2. Now we have also to raise a little bit the ratio, and it threshold just to make the things a little bit more clear. And the last thing, we have to switch the bus in serial mode. So the target is dry and the source is the bus 1. We are using the bus 2 as a mute bus, as I explained in my previous video. So let's assign a isolator on bus 2, and we have to put all this at -infinite. So we are now basically muting the source. Now I have here, let's mute some stuff. This is only a triangle wave resampled from the tone generator, and I use this kind of wave very raw and very harsh, as someone pointed out in my latest video, because it makes things so clear to understand. If I show you this technique with prepared loop on some one complex loop, it's less obvious. So I know that can be a little bit annoying, but to me it's necessary. So I hope this triangle wave instead of a saw wave, it's less annoying this time, but I will be quick, I promise you. Now, we can clearly hear the sidechain on this sample here. And now the sequence right now is 2 steps or 2 triggers, just because this is a single note, but again you can treat this as a one shot. So we want to resample this one shot sequence into one single loop, and the technique I show you on my last video was to copy the pattern and then select the sample we want to print. Done that, we have to pad link the 2 sample we want and use the mute effects on bus 2 to mute the source and resample the target. We have a more practical way, and I think it's also a faster way. We can resample live the pattern. Now, we want to resample directly the sidechained signal without the source, of course, so we can use the bus 2. Now let me mute all the stuff that we don't want, because we want to resample only this loop here sidechained, so what we have brought into the sequencer. And now with the bus 2 activated, we have our sidechain signal only. Now, in order to resample this, we have to go in pattern select, resample, select a pad, and I want to this pad here. Now we can select the pattern, so this is the pattern, and now let's set the bar and simple play. Cool. We have our resampled version with the sidechain baked in. That's cool. All the thing you have to do is to use the bus 2 and then simply resample what you want to resample, muting all the rest. Remember, you have to leave the kick, so the source, unmuted, and you mute the output with the bus 2. So we can resample and use only the sidechain signal. So this is another way to resample loops, and yeah, it's faster, and I will definitely use more this technique than the one I was used to use right now. So the offline mode, this is basically an online mode, a live pattern resample, which is quite cool and saves also to link the 2 paths and then print the resample version only. So it's very, very practical. Kudos to Swampy66 to pointing at this. Basically, this is it for today. I want just to point out that these 3 things, which I think they were important to know and to retreat a little bit what I have said in my latest video about the sidechain. It's a new implementation, so I have to study a little bit more. If you need samples or music theory guide, check my Gumroad page. There's plenty of free samples and paid one, and this new music theory for electronic musician, which is made to make your music theory knowledge a little bit deeper and better. And as always, thank you for watching. See you next time. Ciao!